That was easy, huh?
The Republican Party's lengthy House Speaker fight was about one key issue.
For the whole time the Democrats have been in power, all they've done is increase spending.
Conservatives, from Kevin McCarthy on the right to Matt Gaetz and Lauren Boebert on the over-the-cliff right, have legitimate grievances about the Pelosi-Biden
It's just littered with pork.
$1.7 trillion spending bill, not to mention the trillions outputted through the pandemic.
It went from spending $4 trillion to $7 trillion. We don't have that type of money.
Back in the 1970s, President Richard Nixon tried to block Congress's spending by using the presidential impoundment power, refusing to spend money appropriated by Congress.
Many of those in this chamber tonight will recall that it was 3 years ago that I termed the nation's welfare system a monstrous consuming outlay.
Enraged at Nixon's impoundments, a Democratic-controlled Congress passed and a Watergate-weakened Nixon signed the oxymoronic Budget and Impoundment Control Act of 1974.
Let us have as our goal that there will be no government program which it makes it more profitable to go on welfare than to go to work.
That act eliminated the president as a counterweight to Congress's spending. One critic at the time said the act had created congressional government and inevitably chaos. Out of frustration with Congress's spending abuses, the Byrd Rule emerged in 1985, an effort to restrict so-called non-budgetary provisions from spending bills. The Biden administration saw it differently.
We're going to use reconciliation, that is 50 votes in the Senate plus the vice president, to pass legislation desperately needed by working families in this country right now.
The embarrassing, absurd result of Congress insulating itself from external spending restraint for nearly 50 years arrived in the final week of September 2021. In 1 week, the House agenda included a vote on a $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill, a vote on a continuing resolution to avoid a government shutdown, a vote to increase the government's debt limit, and a vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill.
There are some in my caucus who may believe it's too much. There are some in my caucus who believe it's too little.
Asked what was in the $3.5 trillion Pelosi-Schumer reconciliation bill, Senate Budget Chairman Bernie Sanders said he had no idea.
I started this effort in 2006 to get rid of earmarks.
During the recent commotion over House Speaker, the names of two former gavel bearers were summoned, John Boehner and Paul Ryan. The conventional narrative on the right being that both men were rhinos, Republican in name only, and were taken down by real conservatives. This is a crock.
There is a movement, though, to bring earmarks back.
Oh, there's always a movement. As long as I'm here, no earmarks.
The one real political lesson of recent weeks is that the Republican Party misread a midterm electorate that wanted reliable governance, not a replay of the 2016 Trump insurgency. So, with a razor-thin Republican House majority, it has been more than a little galling to watch Kevin McCarthy's tormentors from the Freedom Caucus pop out of the box as discoverers of true fiscal conservatism.
If you want to drain the swamp, you cannot put the biggest alligator in charge of the exercise.
The spending rules voted by the House this week are worthy but insufficient.
Yesterday, we passed the most member-driven and transparent rules package in history.
Federal spending won't fall until Congress is forced to negotiate with an outside force, just as 43 governors now possess and use the ability to impound their legislature's spending. Spending King Joe Biden will never seek presidential impoundment power, but the 2024 Republican presidential candidates should ask for it. And House Republicans should prove their unity and seriousness by passing a line-item veto bill this year.